Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation to be here.
Welcome to District 30 Toastmasters Member Spotlight. Every month, we invite one of our fellow members to share their Toastmasters journey and what they benefited from Toastmasters. And today, we have invited 2 times world champion finalist, Eric Feinendegen, who is a DTM and who is also an author. So welcome, Eric.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation to be here. We're going to have some fun, Muxiang. Thank you again.
Yes, we are. So tell us a little bit about you. How long have you been with Toastmasters?
Sure. So I started Toastmasters way back in 2004. So I'm coming on 18 years this August. It's been a great journey, and I'm sure I'm going to share some pretty fun and interesting stories with you throughout the interview. But yeah, 17 plus years, close to 18.
That's amazing. So what brought you to Toastmasters?
It's a great question. If you look at every person that ever joined this organization, we all have a Toastmaster story as to why we joined. There's a lot of reasons why I signed on the dotted line, but 2 in particular. One was out of necessity. So if you look back at my history, I had a challenging situation in college when it came to public speaking. I didn't do the best on delivering my term paper. I was able to graduate, but I knew that I needed to sharpen up on my public speaking. Then I had another unfortunate public speaking incident early on in my professional career. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was attending a Chamber of Commerce meeting. And in that meeting, Muxiang, we all had a chance to stand and talk about a product or service we represented. And afterward, a woman came up to me and she said, "Eric, have you ever heard of Toastmasters?" Now, at the time I didn't give it much thought. She said, "It really puts the icing on the cake when it comes to your public speaking." Now, that's her nice way of saying to me, "You need help." And I did. So the next week I did sign on the dotted line and I started my Toastmasters journey. But I do want to share this. The other main reason why I joined was because growing up, my heroes were the people that were on the stage influencing large groups of people. You know, you look at the Jim Rohns, the Les Browns, the Brian Tracys, even Tony Robbins today. You look at these individuals and their ability to persuade, to entertain, to inform. I've always admired that. And it's something that I wanted to bring into my life. And Toastmasters has brought me closer to that goal.
That's great. Yeah, I'm sure the voice, the message matters a lot. The message can inspire others. And you were inspired by those excellent professionals, and today you are one of them too. So that's great. And again, thank you so much coming here to share your journey and your story and your message with our audience.
You bet.
So since you have been with Toastmasters for over 17 years, I believe you have served many of the leadership roles. Have you?
I have. So it's interesting. What's ironic is my day job, I'm in the financial services industry.
Okay.
When you look at Toastmasters, I have held every officer position but treasurer. Now, why that happened, I have absolutely no idea. But I also served as a Pathways Guide and Ambassador, and it's been a great learning opportunity to serve in those leadership roles, because what I learned was leadership is about relationships. Here in Toastmasters, we are a volunteer army. Nobody gets paid to do this, unless you're at corporate. So when it comes to leadership, if we can't influence and if we can't develop relationships, no one's going to follow. So one of the great things I learned about holding those positions was the importance of those relationships of being able to influence through communication, through example. Those are some of the things that I take with me, both in my professional and my personal life. And I'm very grateful for the leadership path in Toastmasters, because as the tagline says, it's where leaders are made.
You are a very confident public speaker, and you have been the 2 times world champion finalist. So in the past, did you feel the kind of a stage fright?
Yeah, and I want to say this. I want to quote Mark Twain when it comes to that question. Mark Twain says that there's 2 types of speakers, those that get nervous and those that lie about it. So I'm here to tell you, I don't care if you're a world champion or if you're a 2-time finalist like myself, everybody, we all still get nervous. So I want to impart that right off the bat. Congratulations if you feel the nerves, or if you're fearful, you're just like everybody else.
Yeah,
I guess absolutely. When it comes to me and my journey, public speaking never came natural to me, and it still doesn't. It's something I have to work extremely hard at to be competent. If people really knew, Muxiang, how much time, energy, and effort I put in to preparing a contest speech, much less a speech that I do in the professional world, you probably wouldn't believe it. So when you put that kind of preparation in, though, it does help with the confidence, with managing the nerves. And when you internalize your message, you shift the focus off of the individual and onto the audience. And that is where the focus should be. It should be on your listener. So what I want to share with the people that are tuning in right now is, if you're having an issue with nerves, few things to remember. Number one, the audience wants you to do well, right? It's not a battle between you and the audience. They want you to do well, and we need to remember that. But also, we should not put so much pressure on ourselves. It's been said that perfection is the enemy of connection. If we focus on being perfect all the time, again, we're putting that focus on us, and that's what makes us nervous. But I also want to share that it is about preparation. 98% of the success of our presentations happen before we ever take the stage. So if you put in the work, you put in the rehearsal, you craft a strong message, and you internalize that, and you believe what you're saying, it will definitely help with those nerves.
Yeah, practice definitely can make it better. Maybe not perfect, but better.
It's about exposure. Anything you fear, I don't care if it's snakes, if it's needles, if it's flying, the more exposure you have to what it is that you fear, the fear will eventually either go away or minimize itself. So stage time, practice, a constant exposure. And that's the beauty of Toastmasters. We get that exposure all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have personal experience. If you ask me what's my biggest fear now, it's still speaking, because I'm so nervous of making grammar or pronunciation errors, because English is not my first language. So speaking is my biggest fear. As you said, Toastmasters just provides such a good platform for us to practice, to fall. Since you were the 2 times finalist, would you like to share a little bit about your journey, get to that international stage?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for asking. When you look at my journey, and I made the final stage both in 2015 as well as 2018, it has not been an easy or a short one. So I mentioned I started in 2004. It took me 11 and a half years, 3 clubs, 51 contests. I'll repeat that, 51 contests, 6 trips to the district finals just to get 1 district title.
Yes.
To earn the right to go to the semifinals, to again earn the right to go to the world championship stage. So I want to share with people is everyone has their own journey. You may see a Craig Valentine, right, who joins in 1998, and then in 1999, he wins the world championship, right? He wins it basically within a year.
Yes.
Okay, that is not the typical journey. It took me 11 and a half years to get there. It may take you 2, it may take you 20 if that's your goal. So it has been an amazing ride, but what I want to share with people is it's about growth. Yes, winning the trophies are great. Yes, getting the accolades and the recognition, it definitely makes you feel good without question. But I want to say this. It's a worthy goal to want to become world champion because I speak from experience. If you make it to the world stage, you will not be the same person when you walk off that stage as you were when you walked on. Because the commitment that it takes, the energy, the sacrifice, the willingness to learn, to craft a message that's important to others, everything that goes into the journey changes you as a person. And that is what you take with you outside of Toastmasters. And you can use that in your professional and your personal career. So the journey has been absolutely amazing. I was in Vegas in 2015, Chicago, my hometown, in 2018. Both were extremely special and just wonderful memories, and all the lessons that go into that, I take with me every single day. It's been very special.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing your wood stage glory and also the path.
Yeah.
The not easy path, how you get there.
Yeah. And I will say this, nobody gets to that level alone. And this is a life lesson that we can all use. One is a lonely number. If you want to achieve any level of high success, whether it be in Toastmasters, your career, whatever it is that you're doing, it must be collaborative effort. You must work with people that are better than you, people that are going to encourage you, that are going to support you, but also tell you, right, give you tough love, tell you what you're doing wrong. And that's probably one of the biggest, we all crave feedback, but when we get it, do we actually use that feedback? So that's another thing is, again, if you want to get to the higher levels, seek out a coach, a mentor, watch the people that have been there, that are consistently going to the higher levels in the contest. Success leaves clues, right? Follow those individuals, work with them, and your journey will be much smoother and hopefully much faster.
I agree. At the Toastmasters, we all feel the kind of support from the entire community. So what actually surprised you after you have been with Toastmasters for 17 years?
Yeah, well, a lot of surprises, and I continue to be surprised about all the benefits of Toastmasters. But I do want to piggyback on the World Championship journey. And one of the things that surprised me was the unbelievable support and encouragement and the willingness to help from not only Toastmasters in the Chicagoland area, but literally all over the world.
Yeah.
I'll never forget in 2015, my first journey to the World Championship, I had a business trip out in Dublin, Ireland. And the great folks at Viking Voices Toastmasters, they welcomed me with open arms, and they knew I was preparing for the World Championship. They listened to my speech. They actually made me a good luck cake. They had never met me before. They gave me wonderful feedback. And I got that kind of support, not only from, the great folks in Dublin, but people from Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. The willingness of this is what surprised me in Toastmasters, the willingness of other Toastmasters to help their fellow Toastmaster. It continues to amaze me. But a few other things is the fact I'm surprised that when people get in this organization that they don't stick. I know we have an attrition rate that we want to continue to work on.
Yeah.
But to me, Toastmasters is the best personal development program on planet Earth. And is also the most cost-effective personal development program. The value that you get for, what I consider as peanuts, right? Yes. For the semi-annual dues. Yeah. I mean, you can't even compare the two. But the other thing is the level of feedback. Mm-hmm. People that aren't familiar with the organization, they may think, oh, we just give speeches, but it's the evaluations that we receive after we give our speeches is what really surprised me. The extent to the feedback that people give, and the honesty as well. Yes. It's delivered in a very comfortable fashion, but we have to be honest with it, with one another. If our leadership skills aren't where they need to be, our communication skills, whatever skill set we need to improve on, the fact that we can share honest information, of course, in a comfortable manner, I think is wonderful, because you don't get that in the real world. You really don't.
I agree. At any level, we feel safe to share what we think about being ourselves. You also recently you wrote a book. Is that a book about your Toastmaster journey, or what type of topic did you write about?
Yes, I did just recently write a book, excuse me. Thank you for bringing that up. It's called The Finer Things, a 52-week guide to living an inspired life. So you mentioned why I got into Toastmasters. And one of the reasons is, all these people on stage were so inspirational to me, and their messages meant so much to me and motivated me that I wanted to share some of the lessons that I've learned, not only from those speakers, but from my heroes, my mentors, and my own life experience. Yeah. And what I found was that not just one philosophy, not just one strategy is going to get us to the life we're currently living, to the life that we dream of. So that's why I put 52 strategies in my book. And of course, I do talk about Toastmasters and my journey to the World Championship without question, because it's been such a big part of my life. And I'm very proud of it. And thank you for bringing it up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a huge achievement. Would you say Toastmasters contributed a lot to your book, to your journey to write the book?
Without question. When you come into Toastmasters, and I believe most people enter Toastmasters because they want to either overcome the fear of public speaking or be a better communicator, you learn the importance of storytelling. Yeah. And that's something that has really helped me in my journey to be a better communicator. So the influence that Toastmasters had with the book is direct. The book is simply a series of stories that I've accumulated through my life's journey, and the lessons that come out of those stories. Some are good stories. Some are not. Some are the tough lessons that we learn along the, life's a series of ups and downs, without question. But I share the stories on my path. And my hope is that those stories and the lessons learned can help, make someone's journey a little bit easier, a little bit lighter, put a smile on someone's face, get them a little more motivated, and encourage them, right, to learn more, be more, and to do more. Because I feel that when we're in a constant state of growth, that's when we stay inspired. And that is the whole premise of the book. It is about growth. It's about becoming more as a person, and also encouraging others to become, because I feel that most people don't come close to reaching their potential because they're not focused on continuous growth. And that's the premise of the book.
Yeah, having a growth mindset really makes huge difference.
The mantra is we want to speak to be remembered.
Yes.
The other advantage of the book, and I want to share this with people that are considering writing a book, is, we share messages in public speaking, but when you put those messages in writing, it impact a lot more people, because now it can be distributed. You don't have to be sitting in an audience to get a positive message. Now the book can be purchased, it can be shared, it can be read and reread. So the message lives a lot longer in a book and when it's in writing than it does necessarily on the stage. So write that book if you're thinking about it.
Yes, I'm sure that's many people's dreams. It's one of mine too. So you have been with Toastmasters for 17 years, and also you are very confident, as I mentioned, and you speak definitely flawless, in my opinion, flawless. Do you still go to club meetings like we do?
I do. And I do want to correct you. I appreciate you saying that I'm flawless. I just hide the warts and the bumps and the mistakes, maybe just a little bit better than other people. That's probably why you may say that. But no, but thank you. Yes, I continue to go to Toastmasters clubs and meetings. I'm currently part of 3 clubs.
Wow.
And if I had to share a secret to my growth, and a secret to how I was able to get to the world stage twice, and if you look at some of the things that I've been able to accomplish outside of Toastmasters, in addition to the book, I am a professional speaker. I'm a professional MC. I also taught at a graduate school level communication and public speaking. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm a 2-time TEDx MC. All of that is simply because I've stayed committed to the Toastmasters process, which is showing up at meetings as much as you can. In the 17 years, Muxiang, and this is something I'm proud of, I can count on one hand how many meetings I have missed.
That's
so
great.
It's not a testament to me per se, but it's the process. So when an individual goes in and stays committed to the process, continues to show up, continues to work, continues to get stage time, I mean, success it's inevitable. And I always tell people, if you work the program will work. But you have to work the program, right? Yeah. And again, it pains me when I see people show up for 6 months, or they do their first 10 speeches or their first path, and then you never see them again. It's like going to the gym, exercising 10 times. Oh, I'm done. No, you're just your body requires consistent effort, consistent work, right? Yeah. You can't build a muscle and then just ignore it. Yeah. You can't build speaking skills and then ignore it. That's why I'm a part of 3 clubs. I continue to go to Toastmasters meeting, and I'm going to be a lifer, right? Wow. Until they kick me out. Right. Well, and the other thing I do want to add this as well, when you look at what we've gone through over the last 2.5 years with COVID, we've all had to adjust, even right now, to speaking virtually, to speaking, via WebEx, Zoom, whatever platform it is. If Toastmasters has been instrumental in allowing all of us to make that adjustment from in-person speaking to virtual so much easier. Why? Because we're practicing it every week. Yes. And that's another reason. Life changes, speaking changes, we have to change with it.
Yeah, great. Any success requires a marathon of persistence.
Totally agree. Absolutely.
Definitely seeing the success in you, we see the value of the Toastmasters. So thank you so much for sharing this. And before we close up our interview, do you have anything to share with the audience?
Yeah, whether you're in Toastmasters or not, I think the goal is the same, and that's to continue to strive, to continue to improve, and progress. And everyone's rate is different, but it is about the journey. It is about constant growth and getting around people that are going to encourage and also push you and challenge you. And again, whether it's inside of Toastmasters, and we definitely get that, but or outside of Toastmasters, I do want to say, the people in this organization are so great. that has really helped mold me and help allow me to develop any, success I've had. It's because of the people. So if, again, inside or outside of this organization, if you choose the right people to hang around with, that is another key ingredient to success. And of course, in Toastmasters, we have such great leaders and communicators. Why wouldn't you want to hang around? Why wouldn't you want to hang around the great folks in this organization? And that's worldwide.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I have another question before we
Sure.
close up.
Keep them coming, man.
Yeah.
I can do this all day, all night.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have a full-time job as a financial professional,
Yes.
and also public speaker, and also a professor, and also go into 3 clubs. How you manage your time?
I'd like to impart to people is if you have a lot of things going on in your life, which most people do, don't go it alone. Use the resources available to you, whether it's the leadership in this district, people that can teach you better time management. I'll use my example, managing your money. A lot of people want to read books, and that's fine. Everyone's journey is but I don't have time to read books, on all these different topics. So that's why I go to the experts, right? And pick their brains and get what I need. And it's just, again, it's who you know, it's tapping into resources, it's collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
I said it earlier in the interview, 1 is a bad number. When you collaborate, 1 + 1 = 3. It builds a synergy, and you can do more with less when you have a collaborative effort. And that's how I've been able to do a lot of the things that I've been successful at, is because it's all collaboration. It really is. Whether it's the speaking career, the financial professional career, writing the book. Clearly, I didn't write the book on my own. I had an illustrator, a publisher, an editor, a proofreader, a photographer. I had all these different people that helped me write the book. Yes, my name's on the cover, but if you open up that cover, you look at the people, that have helped me, and there's a full page, a list of names of the people that helped write that book. I didn't do it alone. Nobody can do it alone.
Any project gets done well requires a team of effort, especially the growth in public speaking. First of all, obviously we need the audience. We need a stage.
Yes.
We need those opportunities.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I'm glad you brought up that example. Public speaking, it's not just us going up on a stage. You're right, you do need an audience to speak to, but then you need the event planner to book it. You need the stage crew to put that up. You need the the AV crew to make the. So again, just that act of sharing information from a platform requires multiple high numbers of people to make it successful. That's an excellent example. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, yeah, totally. Because every club meeting looks like easy, but everyone at the meeting plays a crucial role.
Yes.
To make that meeting a successful event. You gave TEDx talks. Would you like to share a little bit of that journey and how Toastmasters contributed to that?
I'd love to. One of the things about TEDx and what it taught me was the power of vulnerability. When we speak, our goal is to connect, because you can't convert someone to change until you first connect. And that's what Toastmasters taught me, and also the TEDx experience, is we have to share our vulnerability, our hearts, because we connect from heart to heart. And you can't move the head unless you first connect through the heart. So that is a huge lesson that I learned. And it's a lesson that we can take, with in all areas of life, to show empathy, to be able to, put yourself in someone else's shoes, that type of thing. And when you share some of your firsts, your failures, and your frustrations, which a lot of TEDx talks do, right? It connects you to the audience, and if you can overcome a situation in your life, then people in the audience can say, you know, if he or she can do that, then I can do that. And that's the power of TEDx talks. They're very vulnerable. Not all of them, but quite a few are. And the goal is, again, to share. It's an idea worth sharing, but if you can improve the condition of someone in your audience, that makes that talk very powerful and very worthwhile. And I will say this, the people that are considering doing a TED or a TEDx, go for it. There are many opportunities, just like the journey to the World Championship. It's not easy. It's going to take effort. It's going to take resolve. You're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to be emotionally drained by the end of it. But man, is it worth it? A great experience. Your brand's going to grow. Your exposure is going to grow. You will grow as a person. The memories, everything that goes into it. And I will say this, since I did that TEDx talk, I have since emceed 2 TEDx talks. So it is expanded into and I've also coached TEDx speakers. So it's a great experience all around. And everything that I did in Toastmasters had an absolutely direct impact to the success of my talk on the TEDx stage. 100%.
Thank you for sharing that. Now we're so hopeful.
Well, we all have ideas and experiences. Listen, the world needs more positive messages.
Yes.
And we all have something to share in our hearts, and it needs to be shared. And it does.
Many people are considering improving their public speaking skills, but they didn't know where to go, where to start. And thank you for sharing your experience with Toastmasters, and hopefully they can give Toastmasters a try and also head to the international stage, like public speaking international championship and all TEDx stage like you did. So thank you so much for setting an excellent example as our fellow Toastmaster. And thank you so much for the interview.
And thank you for having me. Very grateful for the time here this evening, and all the best to you in your continued Toastmaster journey. And any Toastmaster that's out there, all the best to you in your journey. And if you're considering Toastmasters, the time to act is today.
Thank you so much, Eric. Bye.